am Hello, I am April, and I don't have a presentation. I was just going to talk, and then I remembered like 5 seconds later that I needed to remind you guys some things. So here are some reminders. We are getting so close to Summit. I'm so excited. What did Natalie say? Like 16 sleeps or something like that? Like she's got it counted down. And we do have 6 spots left, so there's still time to join us. Registration for virtual ends Wednesday night, so we need to know if you're attending Wednesday night. And we have decided to do a 4th of July workout, and it is Saturday the 3rd at 7 here in Newton, where I'm at, and Natalie. And I'm so excited because it's like right here. And we are going to be at the park. So I hope you can join us. There will be a Zoom option for those of you who aren't right next door. So either way, I'm excited to see you all. And then of course, Cookies and Creamy is out. I haven't personally ordered mine, but I'm so excited to get some. I'm hearing good reviews. It looks delicious. And then also moving forward, right now we're doing like sample workouts in Happier, Healthier. And obviously 645 is coming out and the sample released Monday. I actually just did it like 10 minutes ago and I loved it. I'm so excited. So I hope you guys can try it. And we're possibly looking at what's next for that. So how we want to handle it. We've done test groups in the past, so maybe we don't have anything set in stone. And then there's also been some talk about working on nutrition. So maybe the ultimate reset, or if anybody's interested in that. So just kind of putting feelers out right now. Like I said, nothing is planned in stone. So with that, guys, I love to talk and I'm nervous. I think it's because I don't have a presentation and I'm just, usually I do have notes on my phone. So if I'm looking down, it's at my notes on my phone. And when I love talking, if you know me, so I wanted to do this. I wanted to be able to do team calls. That's what I want to do. But I struggle when I don't know what to talk about. Like I wish it would just come to me, but it doesn't always. Sometimes I just need more of a set plan in front of me. So I asked Deidre for a couple topics and we kind of went over some. And then the other day I was doing my walk and I went live in my group and a topic came to me. So I'll just start by saying I've personally been struggling hardcore. I don't know if anybody's noticed, I've been a little MIA. I don't even know, and that's the hard part, is I don't know how to put it into words. I don't know what it is, or just all the things. And also I'm doing phase 2 of 75 hard. And those of you who don't know much about the phases, phase 2, there's 3 phases after. Phase 2 is exactly the same things, the same rules as 75 hard, just for 30 days. I am struggling. I will tell you, honestly, this is the hardest so far. I don't know what it is. Like you would think it was easy, like the reading, the water, everything's coming naturally, except for the freaking workouts. I think it's a combination of stuff going on in my own head, my own life, that's keeping me, I don't want to say stuck, but I'm also very grateful. Like I've thought about giving up on this phase and being like, okay, I'm not mentally there. I'll just start later. But it's keeping me going. And that is what is keeping me going. Like if it wasn't for this phase, I would have just went into like my fast track depression, on the couch, all the things. So I was talking to the girls last week about just motivation in general and, movement. And I also did a live on movement and I beat myself up with 75 hard. I had to do 1 indoor workout, like extreme workout, and 1 walk. And if I wasn't doing an extreme workout, it wasn't good enough. My walks weren't good enough. But action is movement and movement is positive. So, and then it just snowballed into the motivation topic. So that's kind of the background to where this is all coming from. Motivation isn't earned. That's why I decided to title it, because it's not. I don't know how many of you have followed me or know my story. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I have quite the story. And you would, I still have people come to me, and I'm sure you guys do too, saying like, how do you get up at 4 a.m.? Like, where's your motivation? How do you do it? How do you drink all that water? I get that one all the time with my hydro jug. How do you eat healthy? How do you avoid the candy? How do you avoid the junk? Like, how do you stay motivated to do all of that? And it's really just hit me. I don't. Like, and I still don't. And after all the shit I have been through in my life, it's still not there. Like, I have to work for it every freaking day. I wish that I could just simply tell people like where it came from. I wish I could just give you a key to unlock that door of motivation and say like, here you go, here's your workout at 4 a.m. Like, here, like, yes, I can give you the tools, but I can't make you get your ass out of bed. Like, those type of things. Like, I wish I could honestly say I've earned it. I've worked my ass off for it. I wish I could say that my first challenge pack just earned me that motivation, paying that $140. I wish that when I lost those first 20 pounds that first year, I earned it. I wish I could say after Summit, I earned it. And after seeing their transformations and the money challenges and all that just made me earn that motivation. I wish that I earned it through, I'm going to skip some of those and come back. I can't. I wish I could say I earned it after going through chemo and the doctors telling me, you have to move your body. You have to stay active. I wish I could tell you that after them telling me my chemo was ended, that I earned it. I didn't. After waking them 6 months later telling me that it was back, that made me earn it. After going through a biopsy, waking up with a chest tube and going through all of that, I wish I could just say it was that. Like, I went through all that shit and it was just there. Like, I feel like if anybody, I fucking earned it, and it's not fucking there. Like, here I am years later, still struggling to today, struggling. I lost 50 pounds. I've been through 75 hard. I've hit diamond. So no matter what goal, whether that be weight loss or a title, work title, a promotion, a major health event, having a baby, I mean, obviously I've done that too, that I can say I've earned this. And so now I'm here doing it every day. And so now it's just easy. Like, who wouldn't want that? But the reality is it's not. And it's a hard freaking reality, but then it's just eye-opening to realize, like, no matter what you go through, no matter how far, you can't do this for anyone else. You can't pull them, and you have to do it for you. None of those things are going to continue to get you that motivation and that movement and that action. You have to make that decision to move your body, to drink the water. Yes, there are things that can motivate you. Obviously, Summit is a motivator, but guys, that's a high that's only going to last so long. It's an amazing, but I'm going to tell you, in weeks, months, you're going to be back at home struggling. It's just a daily thing that we are fighting for. it has nothing to do with how far we've gotten or how far we've been or the goals we have. You just have to take action. And like I said, that was another thing I just realized. And I have to stop beating myself up that action is movement and movement is positive. Like that's how it is. Um, Another good motivator to start with is truly knowing your why. And I will say with that, your why is going to change. How many people start to lose the weight? Like, right? We all start with, we're here to lose the 20 pounds, the baby fat, all the things. You're going to lose that. Then what? Guess what? I just said that motivation is going to be gone. You have to keep changing your why. If your why is big enough, then obviously you could hold a steady why. But so just know why you started, and then why do you keep coming back? If you caught my story, or in this story, I signed Beachbody 5 years ago. And guess what? I was that yo-yo coach. I was not here consistently, like ever. Like I don't even think I consistently did it for a year. But I always came back. I always made the decision. And for me, over and over and over, it's the community, it's the people, it's the friendships, it's finding my people, no matter what that looks like. I always came back, and I know it works. I know the programs work. I know the products work. So you have to realize, think about why you're here, whether that is still, I will be completely honest. I still have a weight loss goal. It's not a huge one anymore, but yes, there's still a goal that I have, but it's not my main goal. And I'm plateauing and it's driving me crazy, but here I am still working because I'm continuing to find my own motivation every day. So whether that be, and another one of my big whys is, like I said, I like to talk. I like to share my story. I'm not so good at sharing unless I'm asked, but I'm learning to open that up for other people to hear, because I know that my story has a big impact and can impact others. It's just, again, finding how to get that from here and here out there. So that's one of my whys, though, is to inspire others like that. That's my big thing. So just really diving into that. They say that, I don't know how it's worded, if keep asking yourself why until it makes you cry. And I mean, that's true, like so true. And I used to think like, oh, I know my why, it's to empower people. But then like I had to keep like digging to like my actual like dream to sit there and cry. Like I said, sorry, I'm looking at my notes. Another thing that you just have to stop holding back from what makes you you. So another reason I would leave and be that yo-yo and leave is because I was in my head about comparison, what people thought of me. I know we've talked about that in many calls, but you can't, it's so hard. And I mean, just me being a human, when new coaches came in here and we combined as a group, it was instantly like, what's everybody doing? And I found myself being like, whoa, snap out of that shit. Like, you got this. Because I did. I saw new Instagram posts or new people that I've never seen before. And I'm like, oh, what are you doing? You got to get out of that. And just really with personal development and finding your people, you have to just be you and stop apologizing or holding back. So one of my insecurities is A, talking too much, and B, being too loud and people thinking I'm annoying. Truth, laying it out there. And so then I would pull back and I would leave because I thought nobody wanted to hear what I had to say. But again, I always came back. So it's just really tuning in to what is drawing you back. Stop comparing, work on personal development. Also, I was thinking about this today that, like I said, I was kind of MIA. When I am struggling, I pull away. I disappear from group chats. I am not really posting those sweaty selfies. I don't do what we preach and lean in. But here I am. And it got to the point where when I remembered that I was the speaker tonight, I was almost like, can't do it. Nope. Like I legit almost pulled out. Hence why I don't have a presentation. So it's still there, no matter what you go through. All of those, we're still human, and it's just constantly working on ourselves, leaning in, coming back, even if you have to take a couple unplugged days, that's fine. It really is. Like people may not get it, but if you come back when you're ready, that's what matters. And if you just take that time for yourself that you need, don't soak in your sadness and dwell in that, then you'll figure it out and move forward. And even my husband was like, stop letting it control your life. Like if you don't know me, I'm a very like hot and cold, like I'm all in or nothing. So I'm like going to give it 110 or I'm going to step way the fuck back. So when I start questioning myself or things, then it's like, okay, slow down. Like I'm not in this. But he reminded me, like, I can't let that ruin my life. I can't let it me stop my workout, even if it's just walking. Like I still got to move my body. I still got to feed my kid. I still got to clean my house and do mom life. The world is still spinning. Even though I want it to like halt, it's still spinning. Your kids are still growing. In my case, my husband's still working. You know, things are still happening. So you just have to, it's okay to slow down, but come back. Another thing that I've recently has really like in my workouts is just being afraid to do the intense workouts. And dang cat, I sidetracked squirrel, but cat. Take a chance on those workouts. And now you guys are laughing and I just can't. I was afraid, several workouts actually. I was afraid of lift 4 for a very long time because it sounded intimidating. I tried it. I loved it. 6 weeks of the work. No, don't even talk to me about it. How many times did I tell Amy, blah, like I'm not doing that. And she kept saying, why don't you try it? And I'm like, fine. And I loved it. I thought I loved it. Also, another part of me is a perfectionist. If I start a program, I have to finish the program. But I'm learning. Like, it's okay not to do that. Like, if you don't love it, if your body is hating it, like, it's okay to stop or come back to where you started. Like, if I quit a program and take a week off, I'm like, oh, hey, I got to start over. Ask me how many times I started Let's Get Up because I kept quitting. And I still haven't finished it. Because I truly wasn't loving it. And it was me just being like, okay, let's move on. And then that's why I liked 6 weeks of the work because I needed the intensity. But then he got in my head because he was being so aggressive and telling me that this wasn't for me because I can't do a full push-up like they are doing. Or just some of the things that they were doing, I had to modify and they don't have a modifier. And then it just became like, shut down. And then I went to walking and then beating myself up, but then teaching myself in all of that walking is still okay. And guess what? Now I'm starting another program I didn't think I would. 30-day breakaway. The first day I did it, I pulled a hip flexor. Gosh, I was pissed. So pissed. But guess what? I tried it again this week. Like, because I'm learning when to stop, when to restart. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. Like, yes, you're going to get good results from doing a full program, but that's not always the answer. Like, I can still get results from moving my body, even though it's not like the perfect calendar. And that is so hard for me, but I'm learning that. I'm learning it's okay to walk. I'm learning it's okay to jog, not pull hip flexors or stretch, listen to my body. Today, I was so salty about not doing workouts that I didn't want to do 645 when everybody else was doing the sample. Like that's how just over everything I was. And this, we preach, Amy and I preach this a lot, but counseling is a godsend, I swear. And I go every Tuesday. So before team calls, I'm all fired up from counseling. And every time it helps me, but today was the first time I walked away and was like I needed all of that. Like I've been carrying so much and like struggling internally with so much. Like I don't feel like anybody can understand. And I knew I needed to talk about it. And we'd already talked about it once, but just being at a place with her where she knows me well enough to be like, okay, here are your options. Like this is what you're talking about. But I know this is what you need to do. And so like call me out and like know me as a person. I'm going to tell you that takes some time. Don't just like walk into counseling and think that's going to happen. Like I've been at this for a while, but it's amazing. Like it's the biggest personal development I have ever done in my life. And I will preach it till the end. I think it's crazy when people are embarrassed by it because it is such a godsend. I'm still struggling with journaling. Everybody talks about it. I bought a journal. I wrote down a paragraph, but I don't know what to write. Like I can talk about my feelings all day long. And I think that's also helped me is that I want to help empower and inspire. So I'm leaning in to my Facebook page and just using it as a diary. On my walks is when I feel things. And so I just like turn on my live and talk. And I mean, that doesn't mean that's wrong. That doesn't mean I still can't try journaling. But for me, it's just easier to like word vomit on you, even if nobody's listening, even if it's just me like, hello, counseling. If you know me, if you're close to me, you know I like to vent. So, I mean, maybe that's better than me writing it on paper. I'm not saying I'm not still gonna try it. I just don't know where to start. Like I don't, and I told somebody else, it's just, I can't get those words out onto paper, but it's hard enough getting them out to speak them right now. So it's okay if things don't look like what everybody else is doing. It's okay if just because everybody else is started, even if it's 6:45, like right now, that's the new thing. And that's why I stopped doing a program I was completely loving Lift for, and I was not done with it. And I jumped into Let's Get Up just because everybody else was doing it. And I never finished it, like, because I just didn't get that into it. So you don't have to keep doing what everybody else is doing. You don't have to. Same thing with 75 hard. Like, I know it's a huge fad right now, but even people on our team just did 75 for me and had huge transformations just because they committed to 75 days for them. That didn't have to look like 2 intense 45-minute workouts. I'm not knocking 75 hard. I will tell anybody to do it, but just because everybody's doing it doesn't mean that's the only way to get results. 645 is not going to be the only way to get results. There's something for everybody. And you got to like get out of your comparison and own up to who you are. This conversation was about motivation, and I just feel like I took a hard right, but this is how I've got here, and it's not pretty. It's not just easy because I went through all those things in my life. My life continues to change. There's always something new. I mean, that's just life. We always just say life is busy or life is life. Like, slow down, breathe, play with your kids. There's that post going around, like, they only get 18 summers. Like, enjoy them with them. It's hard being a work at home mom and seeing all those moms out, but I get to spend weekends with her. And even if that's walking and I just need a break, but maybe she needs a break too. So, let me run through my notes. Oh, another thing I was going to share with you, and some of you may have heard it if you listened to Trent Shelton, but the other day in one of his podcasts, that was another thing. When I'm really in this funk and in this just blah, I really dig into podcasts. I'm like searching all the podcasts, like give me all the titles, like all the things, because I know that's what I need. Or whether it be Christian music or whatever music helps you. So in one of his podcasts, I don't even remember which one, he asked, it was about action and not taking action. And he asked, if you're not taking action, like if you're not taking action right now, not where you want to be right now, where are you going to be in 3 years? Like, if this is it, if this is your life, are you going to be where you want to be in 3 years? And that like really hit me, because how many times have we heard motivational speakers be like, okay, picture you do all of this, and then in 3 years, your life will look like this, and then like paint the rainbows. But how many times have you stopped and done the opposite and thought like, where your life's going to be in 3 years if you're not moving, if you're not drinking your water, if you're not staying active? I mean, we all know what that looks like week after week, but in 3 years, like if you quit, oh my God moment, sorry, you won't understand, but whew, if you quit workouts today, where are you going to be in 3 years? If you, it's going to be a tough one, but if you just walk away from Beachbody and quit Beachbody, where are you going to be at in 3 years? If you walk away from this community, where are you going to be at in 3 years? I mean, I'm not saying it could be good. Like if you move on to bigger and better things, I'm not saying this is the only good thing in the world, but like, you get the picture. Just think about it. And then he flipped it around and said like, okay, if you're taking action, if you're doing all the things, if you're drinking all your water, reading your personal development, going through all your growth, finding your people, all the positive things, then look about where you're going to be at in 3 years. And just kind of look at that into perspective. And that just really opened my eyes. Cause like I said, I've never heard it in the reverse. And so that was a lot. And just what I love I think it was Trent's, the credit card analogy of life's a credit card. Every time you swipe, you're making a charge. Every time you eat that piece of candy, you're making a charge. Every time you skip that workout, you're making a charge. Every time you're not drinking your water, every time you don't read personal development, every time you drink, every time you do drugs or smoke or do all of those negative things, you're charging to your credit card. And then you have to unpay it. You have to pay it off by putting in the work. So you have to do the work by eating healthy the next however long, and it's a balance too. I mean, I'm not saying you can never charge to your card, but there's only so much your card's going to limit until you need to pay it off or until it won't hold anymore. So he's really been speaking to me. So if you need some extra motivation in your life, I love Trent Shelton. And then he also, this was another, must have been a notes quote. I was quoting him. And it was talking about like helping people. And you only have to be 1 foot ahead of the person that you're helping. Just 1 foot. Just one. And then I came back to read that and I added, why doesn't that mean 1 foot ahead of the person that you were yesterday? Like you're just helping yourself. Like that's what we're doing. So really, you like that 1% better, just 1 foot ahead of what you were yesterday. If that means taking a mile walk, taking 2-mile walks or whatever, just be better than yesterday and you're moving forward. So I feel like I hit a lot and like threw it all out there. And I'm sorry if it seemed everywhere because like I said, it's just all kind of jumbled on my notes, but thank you for listening to me and letting that out because like I said, I've been struggling. And I think, again, this whole thing is a God moment. Today, my counselor, I told her something and she said, like, I didn't even think about that. Like I was just talking about something and she was like, God moment. And I was like, shit, like, yeah, you're right. Like, okay. So I needed this. So thank you. If you have any questions, let me know. I opened up a lot. So.
That was so good. Yes. If you guys have any questions, you may unmute, drop them in the chat. April is happy to answer them.
Oh shit, 63.
I think that everything that you shared is exactly what is for you to share, right? Because sometimes we get caught up in comparison of what is this person talking about? What is that person talking about? What are they doing? What are they doing? Just remember, like, what you are doing and what your superpower is uniquely yours. And everything you shared, you could only share in your voice, in your way, in your words. And that's what makes you unique. Like, I could not have said what you said and it sound the same, right? So I think everyone can take a piece of that tonight from everything that you said. Just be yourself. And no matter if you're struggling or not, I think you're killing the shit out of everything. Like, kudos to you.
Trying to catch up on all the chats. So thanks for all your love. I appreciate it. I needed this. I hope it touched at least one of you. And I knew I wouldn't go for an hour because I knew I would just like fire off. But I'm always open for questions. Like, even if it's not tonight, my inbox is always open. Like I said, I love sharing. I don't always share unless I'm asked, but if you ask, I'm a freaking open book and I will tell you anything and everything.
Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate you sharing, and I appreciate all you beautiful people for being here. If you would like to take a picture, now is the time.
I'm still trying to catch up on my chats.
I won't exit out of it. I am going to stop the recording.